Yes, yours truly, Clay Mercer, here with you, and it's the fourth Wednesday of the month. That means it's time for Conversations with the Chancellor. And on the phone with me right now is the Chancellor of Elizabeth City State University, Dr. Carrie Dixon. Chancellor, welcome to your show, and I'm a little late with this, but Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year to you as well, Clay, and to all the listeners. Happy New Year. I'm excited about the great things that are going to happen in 2021.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that excitement right now, and there's a lot of excitement here on the campus of ECSU as the students have returned and classes started yesterday. The students were required to participate in COVID-19 testing upon their return to the dorms. Chancellor, if you could tell the listeners a little bit about the procedure and how it was received by the students.
Though we learned a lot during the fall semester, and we had success as far as minimizing the spread of COVID, we wanted to look at some of those lessons learned even more from the fall. And so our approach for the spring, first, you may have heard, I did modify the calendar once again. So initially, when we were planning for the entire academic year, we went ahead and pushed the start date back for the spring semester 1 week.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the closer we got to January 4th, our return back to campus, I noticed that the governor was still telling us that there has been a spike and an increase continuously across the state of North Carolina as it pertains to the spread of COVID. And I met with my team, I met with the system office, we talked to DHHS, we talked to a few people about what this means for North Carolina and our campuses. And at that point, I made the decision to push the start of campus back an additional week. The thinking behind that was that we would give our students an opportunity, if they were going to test positive for COVID, especially after the Christmas and the New Year holiday break. And, you know, they had an extended break because we ended in shortly after Thanksgiving.
Yes.
They have an opportunity to take as many tests as they need. If they tested positive, then they could quarantine at home. So this additional week gave parents and students the opportunity to test, to quarantine at home if they needed to do so, and then to be prepared to return to campus a week later. So we actually, in pushing that week back, pushing the week start date back, we actually welcome students back to campus starting on January 20th. We did so through the 24th, so we just concluded that on Sunday. And then yesterday was the first day of class.
Mm-hmm.
So we started classes on January 25th. Originally, with the first pushback, we were going to start classes on January 19th. And this time we decided to push it back to the 25th. So this is something that the faculty supported, our trustees supported, my administrators supported the recommendation to do so. And in doing so, we required students to show a negative COVID test within 3 days or 72 hours of their move-in date. And we had on-site testing, however, for students who were not able to obtain a test before traveling to campus. But I have to say, we were thrilled with the number of students who showed up with their parents to move in with their negative tests. And those who weren't able to do so, we were testing them on the spot, and we did not allow them to move into the residence halls until we got a test result. And so we only had 6 students test positive, and out of that 6, only 1 remained on campus in quarantine space, and the remaining 5 decided to go back home and quarantine. So we will be welcoming them back in 14 days back to campus for them to move in once they produce that negative test. And so we have all the precautions in place that we wanted to make sure that our students are going to be safe as they were moving in, safe as we welcome them back to campus, and just doing all we can to continue to minimize the spread. I was so happy with what I saw in the fall. Our students took this seriously, our faculty, our staff. We built a culture of expectation, and I expect the same this spring semester. Our commuter students also had an opportunity to come to campus over the weekend to present their negative COVID-19 test as well, and to be tested on site if needed. And so this is a very good week for us. And as I mentioned, yesterday was the first day of class, January 25th. And so far, so good. The students are excited to be back, the faculty, the staff, and I believe we're going to do just as we did or even better this spring as we did in the fall.
It seems like the procedure went very well, and it's wonderful that ECSU has the ability to test the students, the faculty, and staff, so that's definitely a blessing. A good way to start off 2021 and to start off the spring semester, and I know it's going to be a very busy year for the university as a whole. Chancellor, what are some of the immediate tasks for ECSU and maybe a few upcoming dates that we need to keep in mind?
So a couple of things I want to bring to the listeners' attention is for fall 2021, we are continuing to do everything we can to have another successful year here at semester here at ECSU. And we want to ensure our faculty, staff, students, we want to ensure they're safe. We want our community, our surrounding community to know that everything that we're putting in place will minimize the spread of COVID. We are cleaning, we are sanitizing. We spent a lot of time doing that during the break. And so as long as we continue to follow the guidelines, that's how we're going to minimize the spread of this virus. And so our students did a great job in doing that, and I want to see that again. We're also doing some things to keep our students engaged. You know, we are still in a virtual environment. And so we are looking at additional ways to keep them engaged with virtual opportunities to offer student support and also activities. We are focused this semester on our reaffirmation for accreditation with the SAC COC. We are in the last stretch, the home stretch for reaffirmation of our accreditation with SAC COC. So this is a big semester for us. And we are continuing to focus on our year one priorities within our strategic plan. Remember, we launched our Forging Our Future strategic plan in July. So we are 6 months into the implementation of year one, and this plan is our roadmap. It sets us, a clear path to building the foundation for a sustainable future for ECSU. And we are also focusing on our continued recruitment for the fall class coming in, the fall 2021 freshmen and new students that will be coming in. So recruitment is still a big priority for us. We saw an increase in the number of students who are actually joining us for the first time this January. So we have doubled our numbers since last year of students coming to ECSU in January. So they're spring. So that has been exciting. Over the break, we hosted 2 virtual town hall meetings. And I tell you, Clay, that second meeting, we had a great turnout. We had parents, we had students, we had returning and new students, transfer students. And we stayed on that phone. It was myself, the provost, and my vice chancellor for student affairs. We conducted this virtual town hall meeting for 2 hours.
Ooh.
And I was determined to answer every single question that our parents, students, new students had for us that night. And it was great. We received great feedback from the parents who said, I see ECSU cares about your students. You care about minimizing the spread of this virus. And you stayed on the phone and answered every question. And I told the audience of the virtual town hall, no question is a dumb question. I'm going to stay on this phone till I answer every single question that you all have. And we did so. And we were on the phone for 2 hours. But it just shows that we have been very diligent about doing the right thing and building this culture of expectation that we all hold each other accountable and that we do all we can to minimize the spread of this virus. And I'm excited about how the Vikings did that in the fall, and I know that we'll do it again this spring.
You know, the virtual town halls have been received very well also, so I hope they continue in 2021, providing information to the students, the public, and, of course, the parents who want to know what's happening here on the campus of ECSU. Conversations with the Chancellor, Clay Mercer here, with the Chancellor of ECSU, Dr. Carrie Dixon. And Chancellor Dixon, back on January 21st, you presented the State of the University address to faculty and staff. If you could give the listeners some details from your address and pretty much what was the intent of the message presented.
Well, I always look forward to giving the State of the University address to our faculty and staff. For me, it is, energizing them and helping them understand what we plan to accomplish in the upcoming semester. So I do this in the fall at the beginning of the semester, and I do this in the spring at the beginning of the semester. And we call this our Faculty and Staff Institute. So on January 21st, I just highlighted some of the successes that we had from the fall, including our ability to minimize the spread of the virus, finishing successfully in the fall, and doing so, keeping our students on campus the entire time. And one thing I can say, out of the students, faculty, staff who did catch the COVID-19 virus during the fall, not one transmission was linked to the classroom. That's huge.
Wow.
And so, making sure that we are sanitizing, cleaning, all those things make a difference. Also, if you look at the positive results that we saw with the UNC System Employee Engagement Survey and our 13% increase in enrollment for the fall semester, highlights that we should be quite proud of. And I say to the community, as I say all the time, this is your university and you are our community, and we should be excited together about these great highlights at Elizabeth City State University. I also shared that our work is being noticed. People are taking notice of what we're doing. They're taking notice of the leadership team, the campus community, and how it's standing with the university to get a lot of these things done that needed to be addressed. And we still have work to do. But one exciting donation, an individual donation, the largest donation in the history, approximately almost 130 years of this university existing here in Northeastern North Carolina, ECSU. We received a gift of $15 million from Mackenzie Scott. And when I tell you, I could not believe it when I answered the phone. You never know what's on the other end of the phone, right? And what they're going to do. But it's so amazing because I did not have a personal relationship with Miss Scott. But Miss Scott had a team of people who were all around the country looking for leaders, looking for people who had vision and people that she trusted to be good stewards to invest in those visions. And when I say that ECSU was just one of 3 HBCUs in North Carolina to receive such a large donation, this is huge. And so being the smallest in the UNC system and catching the eye of such a philanthropic person who has really invested in a lot of nonprofits and higher education across the country, to catch her eye was something to be very proud of. And so Ms. Scott did give us $15 million, and we will definitely be great stewards of this funding as we continue to enhance the experience of our faculty, staff, our students, and then also really invest in our financial footing. We've never had a gift like this, and the university must leverage from being strategic and intentional about what that means from the standpoint of establishing a solid foundation and stability for the future generations that will come to this great institution to become Vikings. And so I'm excited about this gift. I'm excited that we are at the table, that ECSU is being noticed at the national level, and we're doing great things. And I hope that everyone in this city is excited about what ECSU is doing and what they are witnessing here on this campus. And finally, as we think about the challenging times, I remain clear-eyed about our future. I am fortunate to lead such a great campus that models the mindset of ACE. And I have talked about ACE since I stepped foot on this campus. ACE is an acronym. ACE stands for accountability, seek, stands for commitment, and E stands for excellence. And that's the mindset that I expect here at ECSU within our campus community as we continue to do the great work of this great university. Keeping in mind that continuous improvement, we've done a lot, but we still have a lot to do, and we still have a ways to go. But as long as we stay focused on accountability, commitment, and excellence, then we will get there. And so I'm excited about this direction.
It's Conversations with the Chancellor. Yours truly, Clay Mercer, here with ECSU Chancellor Dr. Carrie Dixon. And Chancellor, this is one of my favorite parts of our conversations when we talk about the renovations that are happening here on campus. And I'm enjoying what I'm seeing. If you could give the listeners an update on the completion dates for some of the renovations and current on-campus projects.
Sure. We are continuously looking at ways to improve the beautification of our campus because first impressions mean everything. And as you drive through Elizabeth City, I want people to see Elizabeth City State University and say, wow.
Mm-hmm.
And so our students deserve that. Our community deserves that. And I've been committed to that since I stepped foot here on this campus. And so we are fortunate to have some projects being funded and fortunate to see that we are making great progress in doing some renovations. You will see once we open, now we haven't reopened it yet, but GR Little is going through renovations. We're slated to complete those renovations by mid-February. Also, renovations taking place of Moore Hall. At Moore Hall, we will have some great renovations that you all will see. And we have a new chiller project that will be completed before August. And, you know, these funds were coming from the NC Connect bond, as well as some funding that we obtained through the General Assembly as capital improvement, another $6 million to address some HVAC and chiller issues that the university has dealt with for years. We had $5 million coming in for roof repairs from hurricane damage that we have not been able to respond to because we didn't have the resources. So when I say people are paying attention and investing in this great university, they are really doing so. I do plan to have some ribbon cutting opportunities as long as it's safe. It may just be just a small group of people at a time, but these renovations are exciting. And when I say some of the, especially in Moore Hall, state-of-the-art renovations, it's going to be significant. And we're spending about $8 million just in Moore Hall for academic space and space that are just, you know, our students, our faculty are going to really, really enjoy. And so once we get to that point, I'll make some announcements. But if we do something where the public is involved, of course, we'll have to do very small groups at a time to stay in line with the governor's executive order. But I'm excited to cut the ribbons on these renovations that are happening on our campus within these buildings. And I tell you, we are not done yet. I'm continuously advocating for more support of enhancing our buildings on campus and just doing all we can because our students deserve it. We are a constituent institution of the University of North Carolina, and so ECSU should look just as good and better than some of the other campuses around the UNC system. And people are taking notice and really wanting to do what's right. And so I am grateful to be leading such a great institution during this time of transformation because this is exciting. And I'm just happy that our listeners are able to watch everything come to fruition.
Chancellor, I drove past Moore Hall last night and I looked over there and I saw how lit up it was. I see some new lighting inside the building and I just can't wait for the ribbon cutting and these buildings to open up. I think it's going to look outstanding. It's Conversations with the Chancellor. And right now, Chancellor, I'm going to turn my microphone off and give you some closing remark time. And I know that we're going to talk a little bit about the virtual open house that's coming up in February.
Oh, yes. We have, you know, under the circumstances, we are still in a pandemic and we still want to keep everyone safe. So our open house will be virtual once again. And we are hosting this virtual open house on Saturday, February 6th. We did receive positive feedback from the virtual open house we had in the fall. And so we look forward to welcoming prospective students, new students, those families who want to know more about ECSU. Please join us virtually for our open house on Saturday, February 6th. And you're going to hear from administrators, students, and faculty. You'll also learn how to apply to ECSU, learn about financial aid, housing, residence life, and academic programs that we offer. And so this is going to be exciting, even though, of course, we would prefer to meet you in person. We want everyone to join us virtually, and so we can have a great opportunity to share with you some of the things that are happening at ECSU and answer all of your questions as we introduce you to this great institution. So I also want to say to our listeners, thank you for your continued support of Elizabeth City State University. I had the honor of meeting our new city manager here in Elizabeth City, who is also an ECSU alum, Montre Freeman, and he is outstanding. And I'm excited to continue to work with the city and the county and my colleagues at MACU, John Maurice, president at MACU, as well as president of COA, College of the Alamo, Jack Bagwell. And we have to say goodbye to our superintendent, Dr. Catherine Edmonds. She's going off to do great things at the state level as deputy superintendent for the state, but she made a great imprint here in Elizabeth City, and I look forward to working with our interim, Rhonda Davis, and once they get to a permanent person for K-12, the activities that take place there. I look forward to working with all of my colleagues, the new city manager, the county leaders, everyone who really cares about the success of Elizabeth City as a city, as well as its institutions that we should be so proud of. To have a city like Elizabeth City with 3 higher ed institutions right here is a huge deal. And to have a senior institution as a constituent institution of the University of North Carolina system, what more can you ask for? And so I want to make sure that we keep that energy and momentum going, that everyone feels the pride that the Vikings feel. And I've always said, this is your institution and you are our community. And together we can do great things. So I thank you so much for listening and tuning in to my Chancellor's, update show here that I have. And I look forward to more conversations. And once we get past this pandemic, I look forward to being back out in the community and greeting you all and all of us enjoying the Potato Festival and everything else that we're missing out on, Viking Fest, homecoming activities, everything else that we're missing out on right now in this environment. But until we get there, let's stay focused. Let's keep the faith. This too shall pass. And I look forward to seeing everyone once again very soon.
Chancellor, I hear the excitement in your voice. It is infectious, and I want to thank you so much for that and giving us this information and making this show happen. Again, if you missed any part of today's show or you want to catch up on past shows, you can catch us on the WRVS 89.9 YouTube channel. Conversations with the Chancellor has come to an end. Chancellor, again, Happy New Year to you. We're ready for 2021, and we want to thank you for everything that has come to us so far, and we're looking forward to a wonderful year.
Thank you so much. I am as well, Clay, and it's good to be here in Elizabeth City. Dax is having a ball. Had such a good time. If you're driving by my house and you see Dax running around, he loves the yard. If only I can keep him close to the house and not running in the street, and I don't want that to happen. But
yeah.
But he loves being here in the yard and everything. So we're excited, and also, my husband is excited, and he's starting a First Gentleman's Quarterly program with our students, our male students. And so this week is the first week that's being launched. And so he's looking forward to doing some things on campus with our male students and encouraging them to keep moving forward, and that the sky is the limit. So I'm excited, and I look forward to hearing and from everyone once we get to a point where we can continue to congregate once again and to be together in gatherings when it's safe.
Well, it sounds like he's going to be joining you on Conversations with the Chancellor to talk about that real soon. I'm just putting that bug in your ear. We're going to have to kind of make that happen.
Definitely.
All right, listeners, thank you so much for joining us, and make sure you stay tuned. More of your music is on the way, and we'll talk about the Cars Vehicle Donation Program here on the Afternoon Delight Radio Show.